Hey, I'm George Chen.
And I'm being tickled. I'm Paco Romain.
I'm not tickling him, just so you know. I'm not tickling. I'm tickling him with my words.
It would be fine if
Purely
you were.
with my words. Purely words.
You're listening to SUP Doc.
Look, it's consensual. That's all I want to say.
It's a show where we talk to our interesting guests about their favorite documentaries.
Yeah, and on today's show, we're going to discuss the twisting, turning world of Tickled. As David Farrier and Dylan Reeves dive into the clandestine world of competitive tickling videos.
Did you just say competitive tickling videos?
I did. There's a winner. It's whoever's watching is the winner.
And they quickly learned it's not all fun and games.
Yes, and we were very delighted to have our guests Jona Bechtolt and Claire Evans from the band YACHT, who are very stoked to talk about this documentary with us.
I really love YACHT.
Yeah, you became a super fan.
I did.
And we're a fan of their lovely home in Los Angeles.
It's amazing.
And their two lovely cats. And we sat down and tried some weird salsas.
We did.
And they really wanted to talk about this, and we're happy to have them. Tickled can be seen on HBO. And now our talk with Jona and Claire. Before we get deeper into this, we should do a little bit of an general intro.
My name...
Are you here to say something?
Let's spit some bars.
In the cipher with...
What do you love in a major way?
We're here at... Do you have a name for the Casa Yacht? Is there a...
It's just our house. Yeah, we haven't really named our house.
Yeah.
HQ, I
It's like a houseboat.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
But we got to do a little voice intro.
Listen, we get a lot of boat stuff. Something
Yeah,
personal.
they just get rid of the whole boat thing
It's
now.
we brought it
time.
on ourselves.
Yeah.
We did bring it
What do
on
you
ourselves.
want? You want first, last, nickname?
Yeah, just like,
first, last,
hey,
middle?
so
First, middle,
people,
last?
the audience will recognize your voices. We do like a hi, I'm blah, blah, blah. Hi, I'm blah, blah, blah. Well, not your...
Go ahead.
Well, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jona Bechtolt.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hello, I'm Claire Evans.
Yeah.
Hi,
We're a
Claire.
band called Yacht, but we're also just people.
Yeah.
You're mostly people.
Mostly people.
When we put it up, we'll just say yacht parenthetical your names, I think.
Sure,
That's
yeah.
kind of
There's
how
one
we
more
handle
person
that.
in Yacht too, but he can't be
Rob,
with us.
yeah.
Rob Keysweater.
It's good because we don't have a fifth plug on this recorder. So.
Fuck you, Rob.
You can just pretend that Rob is here and he's just being like really...
How many?
he's having like a quiet day.
How many people were in Yacht?
Just three.
3.
When you did the NPR Tiny Desk?
So there was
5.
like 12 of us.
Yeah,
then.
there was tons of you
There
guys.
was 5, yeah.
So-
That was our largest.
Oh, okay. There's the
version.
one guy in the back who just kind of just sang. He didn't really do anything.
I think that was me.
Oh, that was you.
I think that was
the
me.
thing about the tiny desk
toured
is
with the
that
five-piece?
it's
Yeah,
not
that's what
like,
Katie was in the band.
You don't get to use your full setup. Not everybody gets to play their instrument.
Yeah. Well, you were on guitar, though, I think.
No, I was on like a little sampler.
Oh, you were
thing.
on your knees
I was,
doing the
I was
sample.
the guy in the back.
But there was one right behind you.
That's Katie.
That's Katie.
That's
Who
Katie.
was just on
She
tour
sang.
in town.
Yeah.
She sang. I
Yeah.
can't really. I actually never
Katie's a
watched
gem.
that tiny desk thing out of just deep shame.
Oh, it's great.
That's what people
Thanks.
say. People. It's so funny. It's like the number one thing when someone's like, "Oh, I saw your band. I learned about it because of
NPR.
tiny desk."
Yeah.
It's always that.
It's like when
It's
you
not
search
always
for you
that.
guys
It's so
on YouTube,
frequent.
it's one of the first things that pops up.
That's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
why.
So you jump right into it.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's a pretty good representation of us. I mean, in a weird way. Like, it shows that
It
we're...
is and it isn't.
It shows that we're more of like a nighttime band.
Are you touring a lot this year? Is 2017 going
No,
to be a tour year
we're
for you?
purposefully not touring
No,
this
it's a
year.
recording year.
Yeah. This is a making year.
Inside year.
Claire's almost done with a book.
I'm writing a book.
Oh, you were telling... Yeah, do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, let's hear.
Yeah, it is a feminist history of the internet because I think that that's important. And I really want like people to harass me online in a year. So I think that putting a book out...
You're going to get
One
that.
solid year into Trump's America about how women have been underserved in histories of technology. I'll see how that goes. But yeah,
It's DARPA, not Marfa. Martha. I don't know.
Martha.
Never mind.
I mean, that's relevant.
Marfa. It's also you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's it's sort of a broad thematic history of places where women have had an undue concentration in the history of computing and in the internet.
Right, like one of the most famous early computer people is a woman. I'm blanking. You know
Ada Lovelace?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
There you
Lovelace.
go.
Got the Lovelace, you got Grace Hopper, you got those ladies that worked on the ENIAC in World War II and over there in Bletchley Park. I mean, a computer, like, it used to be a job title, and that was a job. There was a job of computing, and that was like a job women did, like
I
a
learned that,
secretarial
yeah.
type job.
Hidden Figures.
Yeah.
I learned that.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Damn, Hidden Figures. Stealing Thunder.
Is it stealing your
got-
thunder?
No, it's covering. It's good. It's important. I'm not really getting into that part of it. It's more contextual.
Have you guys watched *Halt and Catch Fire*?
Oh yeah.
Have we?
I
Man, I
imagine that
saw
would be
yeah.
your jam.
the actress Mackenzie
Mackenzie Wilson or
Wark. No,
Phillips?
that's a writer.
Did you say Phillips?
Cameron. She plays Cameron.
She plays Cameron. I saw her at the.
and she's in Black Mirror.
I
Yeah.
saw her at the local gluten-free cafe, and
Okay.
I just
Of
love her, and I was like,
Yeah.
ooh,
You're like, we have the same haircut and we're tall blonde
I
people.
love you so much.
I love her so much.
She's my favorite television character.
That
in
show is
history.
great. That show is so great.
yeah,
And
too.
just the
I'm
way that
only
it's
on season
styled,
2,
Oh
yeah.
my god,
Yeah.
it's a joy. It's
Yeah.
a joy.
Based on the old computers you have, I imagine.
It's so
this would
deep.
be-
Like
yeah.
John and I can tell you, as just like deep vintage computing enthusiasts and
We're
amateur
not
historians.
that deep. We got a couple computers.
Yeah, but I mean, listen.
Yeah.
Listen, we sit around.
Sorry.
We sit around at home and we talk about floppy disks a lot.
I'm
Sexy.
trying to install a BBS on a Raspberry Pi too, so that's kind of deep.
Yeah, we're trying to
That's
start a BBS.
that's deep.
Yeah.
That show is so like its references are so loving and like detailed and deep. Like the people that write that show know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And they are making like references to stuff that doesn't even matter. That is just to show, you know?
Right, you're like you have to serve that nerd. Like it's definitely
Yeah.
the nerd show. It's not Big Bang Theory. It's
Yeah.
*Halt and Catch Fire* for
Isn't
sure.
it? Big Bang is so weird. Like, why did norms get off so much on laughing about nice nerds?
Also, that nerd is
Are they nice?
Is very bad in Hidden Figures. He's kind of the bad nerd in Hidden Figures.
Yeah, well, he wanted to play against type, I'm sure. He was like, I need something that makes me look manly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
mean.
I've never seen a full ep of Big Bang.
No,
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
There's
Not
no reason
necessary.
to. The best thing to do is go on YouTube and watch the one where they took the laugh track off of.
No.
Oh yeah.
And it's
I'll watch that.
It's incredible
that
because
sounds
they do
great.
the look away. They're like, "You eat it, look away," and nothing happens.
Wow.
And it's like a Bertolt Brecht play.
It's like that-
surreal
That's so
and weird.
great.
And,
Oh, I'd
It's
love
like
to
that
watch
Garfield without John, or
Yes.
no, the Garfield without Garfield. It's just John having a crisis
right,
all the time. Yeah.
right.
I
Yeah,
love
'cause
those
Garfield
kinds of
isn't
things.
real.
Like what was there was like an X-Men that came out with the effects weren't done yet.
Oh
It
yeah,
was all
yeah,
just, like,
yeah.
gray-
Wolverine. No, it's Wolverine.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Do you guys remember that? Like
did
some
not see
disgruntled person at the post-production house leaked like the
entire thing.
pre-finished CGI where it's just like storyboards and like weird like, you know, untextured models, like just a
wow.
silver cone where the airplane's supposed to be.
Yeah. It was
I've
awesome.
not seen it.
It's awesome.
Apparently, in England, MASH didn't have a laugh track,
Oh,
so that changes things.
Yeah.
that's weird. I feel like they do have laugh tracks on British television, don't they?
Yeah, I don't think this one did. I think they were like, let's just not do it.
Well, you know, war is no joke.
It is no joke. It's just, suicide is painless. Speaking of which, Tickled.
Yeah.
Killer segues that we're known for on this show.
Yeah.
Love it.
Seamless transition.
Man, did those guys get tickled?
Yeah, they did. Who? Raise
So we
your hand
haven't
if you
watched
love
it.
to
Is
be-
that okay?
Well, we've had that before, actually.
No way,
Completely
really?
bluffing.
Yes.
Boy, did they laugh when they were tickled. What do you think?
I hate being fucking tickled.
Me too. It's
Yeah.
awful.
I watched
I
it.
kinda
I
love it.
cringed. You okay?
I think
no,
I love
you
it.
don't. No, you don't.
I think I love it.
Sounds like someone needs a tickle
yeah.
monster.
I think I love it.
You
He's
do?
just like he loves to be touched, not to be like.
Oh,
What?
Gross.
I don't think I like to be. I didn't think I grew up being super tickled or excessively.
I have two older
hugged or
brothers.
touched. Oh,
So that was more of like pinning you down and tapping on your chest.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I have two older
That sucks.
brothers as well.
It's the
Oh.
worst.
That stuff happens.
It's
man.
the worst.
My brother would pin me down, and then my other brother would spit.
Yeah. And then suck it up.
And then suck it up.
Yep.
Whoa.
Classic.
That is
Classic.
classic older brother stuff.
You're
so
the youngest?
glad I'm an
Yeah.
only child.
Yeah. And you're an only child, so you don't know about it.
You don't know about
But
that
I also
stuff.
think that if it's different with girls, sisters. I'm sure if I had a brother, he would just make me mixtapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was always my assumption of what a brother would do.
Yeah.
Hey, kid.
But my brothers did nice stuff too, like that, for sure.
What,
Were your brothers only mean, or were they nice too?
yeah, no, they're only mean. I mean, even the nice stuff where I thought they were being nice, later on I realized like, no, they were being completely like almost making me die. Like there was like death.
Yeah.
They would. One of the things they like to do is make homemade throwing stars and darts. And then they would make me wear layers of clothes and like a football helmet.
Project
I have a
Grizzly
story
you?
that is in this vein. That's so crazy.
Are we somehow related?
Maybe. Are you my brother?
I am. I did all this to you. This is weird.
Do you remember Nerf Golf? Did you ever see that?
I don't think
Okay, so Nerf made a golf set, and for the holes, they had these plastic discs that went up and then
okay.
created a hole at the
Yeah.
center. So my brother and I were playing Ninja, a game that maybe you guys played.
Yeah.
And he did like a somersault, grabbed one of these things off the yard, and threw it straight at me. And it came whizzing at me and stuck into my head, right between my eyes, right at like the
Jesus.
bridge of my nose.
Yeah.
And I
no.
still have like a little scar there. And then, like a pro wrestler, blood just started squirting out of my
no.
face. And he immediately regretted it and turned
sure.
white. And I was just like, what's happening? What's happening?
Oh man.
Because it didn't really hurt, but it just bled a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as soon as I saw myself, I was so freaked.
And did you
the fuck
hide
out.
it from your parents, or did you immediately go to mom? What happened?
I was a lot of like hiding from my parents.
Yeah.
If I ever got hurt, I would like go into my room and get under my covers.
Yeah. No, my parents could never find out.
Yeah.
I always hid too, and was just like, I fell off my bike, and my older brothers were like, damn right.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff. It's like being in prison.
God. Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like being in prison.
Yeah.
What I imagine like being in prison is like.
Yeah, it reminds me of like something I was just reading about how tickling was used as a torture in the
Look at this
ancient
guy.
Chinese times.
Now that's
it
a
doesn't
segue.
leave a mark. Doesn't leave a mark.
There you go.
No, the emotional one.
And
but
you
no.
cannot technically tickle someone to death, but they could have an asphyxiation or maybe
Heart
like lose
attack.
breath or heart attack.
So I've always hated it. I've
Yeah.
always hated it,
Yeah.
and there's something like so so troubling about it because it's like your body is expressing itself in a way that is like normally a pleasure thing, but you are unhappy, and it's like it's such a weird thing. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be like it's terrible, but also be laughing. I hate it.
No, it's horrible, and it's like sometimes you like the relatives you hate the most when you're a kid would try to tickle you.
Oh yeah, actually,
like-
this is bringing me back to a moment that I had too, like being in a swimming pool. There's other people around, but like my granduncle like tickling me. And like I was like gonna maybe also drown, and I was so angry at the same time. I'm like, I'm being tickled. I am angry because all he's doing is laughing at me. I was just like in that crazy thing when you're a child and you're just like, don't laugh at me. And then that only as an adult I understand why my cousin did that. My cousin's kid did that the other day, and he's just like, no, don't laugh at me. And like, of course I'm gonna laugh at you more now, more intensely. But like from knowing that side of it, it is terrifying because you have no control.
Maybe that's why you like early on they made you say the word uncle to get them to stop.
That's true.
It was your uncle that was
Yeah, because it was
doing
always your
God.
creepy uncle that was trying to tickle
I never
you.
understood why uncle.
Yeah, cry uncle.
Uncle etymology. Let's look it up right now.
I mean, you know what I just realized is I think I always thought it was an acronym because of the show The Man from Uncle.
Oh, that's interesting.
The man from TICKLE.
What was the
I don't-
acronym though? What did that stand for?
It had a K in it too.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Well, no, the band has a K in it.
I can't tell any of my media apart anymore. I can't tell
all one
nonfiction and
thing.
fiction from each other at this point.
Yeah, I can imagine that that's a problem.
It is a big problem for me.
Is there a name? So back to the documentary Tickled.
Oh.
Is there a name for a
Guess
thing?
we have another host, George.
That's fine. You take over the show. It'd be one of the 700 things you guys do, and you're better than
right.
everyone else at.
No, we're bad at all of it. But yeah, no. Is there a name for a kind of documentary where you go into it thinking it's one thing and then it reveals itself to be something else? Because Slender Man was kind of the same thing, where it's like I
Yeah.
thought it was just going to be about like the history of the meme or whatever.
I mean, I think it's like, have you watched the trailer or not? Really, is what you're talking about.
Okay, all right.
Is it about the thing that it's supposed to be about, but I just don't know because I haven't watched the trailer? No, but
but
it does. Tickle does tick you on it, and it really like
even
sells
watching
that
the-
part of it,
Even watching the trailer,
Yeah.
you'd think it would just be about the world of competitive tickling.
which is good enough. You know?
Yeah,
like
that's
interesting
that would
enough.
have been
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
And then it got immediately super weird right away because David Farrier, the journalist, who we're talking about, you said, I think you had the right combo. I said he's kind of like a Ronson. And you're like, oh, he's like John Ronson meets Louis Theroux. He's
Yeah.
like the young, hip, cool. Like,
Meets the
I'm going to
the
find
cute,
the weird shit.
The cute Flight of the Conchords guy.
Oh,
I mean, they're both cute. But
Not
you know what I'm
Jermaine,
talking
but
about? The other one.
yeah.
we all decided. We all just ranked the Flight of the Conchords guys.
Yes. Although I think Jermaine's the more talented.
Oh,
of the
for
two.
sure.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that the
And
other
you don't
one
hear
is
as
He's
much
proven
from the other
himself.
guy. Yeah, so like this style, you're talking about this format
Yeah.
of like the plot twisty documentary. I don't know that there is a term for it.
trying
I
to
don't
think
think
of
so.
another
I think
one.
it just means it's a good documentary in
Yeah.
a sense.
Yeah, it takes
just
you on a
means that
journey.
it's
Yeah.
multi-dimensional.
Because like in like when docs really started catching fire in like the late 90s, they were pretty much just like biographical, straight ahead, not much going on. And then the early mid 2000s, they started having more style, and then all of a sudden they had to have some sort of twist to it, you know.
Yeah.
The good
Yeah.
ones anyways.
yeah.
And also, this documentary is definitely enters into the true crime territory, which is, you know, it's got to have twists. It's got to
Yeah.
have.
Right.
got it.
Not necessarily
Who
violent
done it?
crime. Well, is it a violent crime? Is there violence? Would you argue there's
There's
not
certainly
violence.
a violence
There's
to
violence
it.
under
I mean, that man is for sure a sociopath.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one?
What's his name? D'Amato.
D'Amato, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. I read that Ronson book about psychopaths. Like, it's real. That he has.
So wait, is he a psychopath or a sociopath?
It's like the same thing. People use the term interchangeably. he is completely affectless.
Yep.
That's true.
He's like dedicated to this like aggressive, senseless cruelty, like elaborate, senseless cruelty that almost seems like he just like a cat playing with a dead thing. Like he just wants to see what it looks like. Like he doesn't care. It doesn't even seem like he cares sexually necessarily, although I think he could.
Right.
But he just like wants to fuck people. You could just tell he wants to fuck people's lives up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's the only part.
He's just getting into the elaborate construction of like this horrible situation for someone.
There's a weird thing though that's tied into this whole thing, which seems to be his internalized homophobia, and that's what kind of has led to the distinction between him and let's say that guy in Florida, Ivy, who seems pretty comfortable with the fact that like, yeah, this is sexually what I'm into, and other people are also, and it's pretty transparent. It's almost like immediately what gets the whole thing ticked off is David Farrier writes to the Jane O'Brien media people and immediately gets like, I didn't realize it was public. I just watched it again. It's like the comment he gets about we will not work with a homosexual journalist is a public comment on the Jane O'Brien Facebook page.
Is it still there?
I don't know that it is still there as that, but I didn't realize what that came from. I thought it was like in an email. But that's
crazy.
extra super weird.
Yeah.
And I think that sets off their alarms right away. They're just like, whoa, these guys are pretty homophobic for being into tickling jocks.
Yeah.
Fitness models.
And I think like that Ivy is brought up as sort of like a contrast of like, well, it doesn't have to be a big deal. Like maybe we thought we were just going to do this kind of thing and just hang out with this dude. But then it got into all this immediate like legal threats
It
right
has
away.
like the aggressive, like litigious, like senseless behavior of like a Scientology disinformation campaign. You know,
Totally.
like it has that
Exactly. I
same
thought
like
of that.
leading with the aggression in order to like dominate the space for some reason. You know,
And threatening like legally. And like,
Yeah.
just trying to intimidate people into silence a lot of the time.
yeah.
with nothing really behind it. No power
It's like-
behind
When
it.
that's revealed, like the bluster that was
Yeah.
involved, where oh gosh, that's a pretty good scene near the end.
When I was thinking about David Farrier and Dylan Reeve there, and I was like, why even pursue? What's the point? Like, why go to
Yeah.
the lengths? And
Good
then,
question.
And I've seen it now three times. Yesterday was the third time I was, and on the third viewing, I'm really like, what's the point? You know, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh shit. The second time I was like, oh, this is kind of crazy. And this last time I was like, why? What's the whole?
Because there's something at the bottom of it. You just
yes.
want to know like what the real deal is, what the true deal is.
If
And the
you-
only way to do that is to go on the ground.
If you get that kind of response from hey, I'm interested in your competitive tickling, and let's chat, and someone says, fuck you, I don't deal with homosexuals and deviants, then I mean, that's you're going to be like, let's take another step forward, shall we?
What is that?
Yeah, but that's a good question in general, like because I think we all liked it and we all kind of empathize with them, but are they they're crossing some lines that I'd say are only justifiable if you just ultimately think it's all for the greater good to expose this dude.
Yeah,
but
totally.
they're like, and some of it is there's different legal stuff about what you can film or what other journalistic ethics there are in New Zealand versus the U.S. Like, for example, in California, you couldn't get away with like taping someone without their consent, probably, and like throwing it into a doc, or could you?
I don't know. I mean, in all the doc stuff that I've done in the past, like you always have people sign releases.
got release forms, yeah.
Even like people that are walking by in the background.
Are you talking about the airport scene?
Post, even subsequent to the airport, it actually was kind of clever how when those guys didn't want to be on camera and they get the cameraman to film them from the back, from the street where they're in the office.
Yeah.
And like at least it creates kind of the effect that you want. I wouldn't say like like what is they're like trying to avenge, or not avenge is not the right word. They're just trying to like figure out why this guy is bullying all these people, and then they're really putting themselves in the direct line of fire of someone who's really good at cyberbullying. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing, that ends up being what I think most of this is about. It's not about the tickling itself. It's about the cyberbullying. So...
Yeah, and I guess at a certain point, like you go down that road, and the documentary becomes like your only exonerating proof of like whatever the accusations that they're going to be accused of in the the inevitable cyberbullying that will come. Like they can point to the documentary and be like, "Look, this guy's insane." You're like, there's the only way out is to finish the documentary.
Yeah, and it seems like the funding got pulled potentially a couple times.
Oh, really?
And in the middle they talk about how people are kind of like, we want to back off from this.
Oh, yeah.
And then ultimately Stephen Fry produced this, so I kind of think Stephen Fry must have thrown his money into it.
That's cool.
Good for
Yeah, I
him.
think he was a backer.
Yeah, he's one of the backers, and I think they did a Kickstarter thing about it. But it's like, and also I think now because there's legal actions that have happened subsequently, everyone involved can't really even like really say what they really are thinking because there's legal stuff. So there's even Kevin Clark is like, I'm not allowed to say certain things. I'm tied legally. And then if David Farrier was like, look, there was lawsuits against me, so I can't even really say what I want to say right now. Wow. So there's a lot of stuff. So ultimately, this guy D'Amato is a guy who committed a lot of fraud and identity. I know it wasn't identity theft, but he harassed people. He did jail time for it, and part of his getting off of his jail time was his dad is a famous lawyer in New York.
Right.
So they're like, he needs to be paroled so he can take law classes.
Yeah.
And you just armed this guy. It's like a patent troll or someone like that, who's just existing to just intimidate people. Now he has more firepower to intimidate people with.
Yeah. And of course, he looks like the classic, New York thuggish lawyer bully type.
Yeah.
I was telling them I kind of thought that Kevin Clark and him were the same guy because the camera's so far away, and just saw, that fat guy with white hair. I thought it was that guy, but I didn't realize they were two different people. When you look at the footage of David D'Amato, we just looked at the footage of the New Art. They had a screening, I guess the U.S. premiere theatrical. That wasn't a festival screening, and both Kevin Clark and David D'Amato are in the audience, and David D'Amato just looks like a guy who has not seen sunlight. I
was going to say he's very pasty.
He's very pasty.
He's got a Roger Ailes kind of look to him.
Here's the thing where he's old, but he's done nothing, so he doesn't have wrinkles. His face is it's smooth, but it's just because he's
just been basking in the CRT glow of a computer screen for his entire life.
Yeah, exactly.
You had some phrase about he was a baby of some kind that was really good. What was that?
It reminded me of the Harkonnens in Dune.
Yes,
or something like
totally.
that. He's in a floating suit, send in the Tickle Boys.
Send in the Tickle Boys.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't. Yeah, he just seems okay. Well, now I'm worried about, are we going to get harassed by someone for talking about this? Because that's not libel. That's straight up, you need to, get some sun, my man.
No, that's fine. I think that's fair use.
Concerned. We're concerned
for your vitamin D intake.
Take some B12.
Easy D.
It was one of the strangest sports I'd seen. No! So, of course, I told Jane O'Brien Media I'd like to do an interview. Instead of getting a yes or no, I got this.
To be brutally frank, association with a homosexual journalist is not something we will embrace. We desperately do not want a homosexual participant base applying for this project. My concern is that your journalistic style, fan base, and reputation in your own country. Regards, Debbie Kuhn, Jane O'Brien Media.
Hey, this is the time of the show where we give shout-outs to our Patreon supporters.
Everyone who signed up gets a shout-out, and that includes Jamie Borchuk.
Thank you, Jamie. And Janet Flemmer.
Thank you, Janet. And Angie Britsky.
Thanks, Angie. And John Schenberger.
John Schenberger, our first person, I think, to sign up for our Patreon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And all those people not only got the shout-out that they requested, some of them got a SUP logo button.
Yeah.
Some of them got the California Enamel Bart pin and
exclusive content.
Right. We had a bunch of interviews that are kind of supplemental to the regular interviews that are up on the regular podcast feed.
Just for Patreon subscribers.
Right. We've got some good, juicy info from Adam Mansbach.
Yeah, we talked about jazz and record shopping, and it was really great.
We talked to Wayne Fetterman about Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
If you want to learn something about how weird that it was. And we talked to Allison Mick about some extra murder stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you get if you sign up for our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/SupDocPodcast.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Hey, listeners, are you looking for a new source for documentaries?
You know I am, Paco. Not everything's on Netflix, not everything's at the library, not everything's on HBO.
That is true. Well, guess what, George? There's an app for that.
Yeah, it's called Guide Doc.
That's right. You can discover and watch the world's best handpicked and award-winning docs from around the globe.
There's a must-see new documentary every day up on the app, curated by the team at Guide Doc.
And didn't you just watch a movie on Guide Doc?
I just watched Sins of My Father, which is the story of Pablo Escobar as told from the perspective of his son. Pretty amazing. Just finished that one up.
And right on your phone.
Right on my phone with the little subtitles and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you just sign up through the app store and stream all Guide Doc movies for one low monthly subscription of $4.99.
What could be better than that?
How about this, George? How about your first month for free?
Yeah, that's my kind of price.
You know what? For some very lucky SupDoc listeners out there, all you have to do is follow us on Twitter at SupDocPodcast and then send us a tweet with the hashtag SupDocRocks and we'll DM you the code.
It's just that easy. Just tweet the hashtag SupDocRocks at our account and get your first month of Guide Doc for free.
And now,
back to the show.
So, tickling as a military project, that's very weird.
Yeah.
Oh, right. The MMA stuff, was that coming up in the MMA when they were talking about recruiting the MMA people? Yeah, they're trying to say that, like, look, we're just videotaping this because we need to research it for military tactics. I like what that guy said. He's like, if I'm in the octagon and I try to tickle
somebody,
that's bad.
TJ?
I'll get hit outside the ring.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't TJ. TJ was the guy earlier TJ was the first example of someone who was like, where letters were sent to his job to get
that's
him fired from
fucked up.
high school.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what's the psychology behind that? What's the end game to hire someone, give them a bunch of money so they videotape tickling for you, and then when they want out, you try to destroy them publicly? What is that?
I feel like that's it. That's what he's ultimately looking for. It's that part.
But doesn't that put an onus on what you want to remain private? Doesn't it publicly going after someone point arrows to a private organization you want to keep private?
I mean, I guess the idea is that people would be so ashamed that they wouldn't go public.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know.
And then you've got them either way. You've got them with their private stuff and you got them with the public stuff.
Yeah, and that's why this documentary throws such a wrench in the system and why they're suing them now because...
Right.
It's crazy to think that the guy like claims that it's not sexual when he's blackmailing people basically on the assumption that people will think it's a sexual fetish.
He just straight up says that in the letters and the emails harassing other people. God. It's like, he's a male pornographer. I'm like, well, you just said it wasn't, so what are you?
Yeah, exactly. They're going to get tripped up by something. I just like watching, like, what? It's, I don't know. I'm, I guess, inherently lazy, so when I think of someone going through that much work to just hurt somebody that I don't quite understand.
In a way, it's like just sometimes I think about like in the future of our planet when like all work is automated and there's just like all this leisure and nothing to do.
Yeah,
like this, people are gonna start coming up with like extremely arcane pastimes like that, where it's like, yeah, this is one way to spend your money. Like, you can spend lots of money on creating these situations that make people miserable. It's something to do. Like, that's just, it just seems like it's something
like
to
baron,
do.
Yeah, just like straight up like a duke.
Yeah, and one of my favorite parts of this documentary is the narration. The woman that does the voiceover narration.
Oh, yeah, right.
She
reads who is Jane O'Brien or whatever.
who does the reading of stuff.
Yeah.
I love the way she pronounced things.
Great voiceover at work.
Oh, yeah.
When I talked to you guys about doing this show, we had sort of bounced some other ideas back and forth. Now I see why you were into that cat one so much.
What, because of our cats? Our two beautiful cats?
Your beautiful cats. And then somehow we started talking about Tickled, and then we're just all instant like, yes, this has to be. And you had seen it at that point, and I hadn't seen it.
Yes.
So how do you pitch this to like someone that you know who's like you got to see Tickled? Like, what would be your pitch?
I am one of those people that if not physically prevented, I will just reveal the entire plot of a movie or documentary because I just am so excited. Like, you know, like I probably would just sit a friend down and just explain to them everything that happens, and then tell them to watch it because it's probably more fun to watch it than hear it from me.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
We pitched it to Mike, but I can't remember how we did it.
The thing is, like, for me, it's not something that needs much selling because one of my favorite, like, sort of like dirty pleasures or whatever is watching like documentaries about like obscure sex things. Like I loved Real Sex in the 90s. Like there's a series of like really low budget British documentaries on Netflix about like real dolls. And
Have you seen those?
Well, I think I saw the one about object sexuals. Did you see that one?
No, I love it. I want to watch that.
I think it's in this British series. It's like a BBC one. It's like, like
these
the
ones are
woman-
not BBC.
These
They're
are not
very low
okay.
rent. Yeah, they're
this
like
is
45
like
minutes.
the one the object sexuals thing. Do you know about the object sexuals?
I do not.
That's like the most famous one. The woman who's sort of like the pioneer of the object sexuals is married to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, that's right.
And she was a tennis player, and she has a bunch of objects that she has at home that she takes to bed with her. And but Eiffel Tower, I'm like, well, that's definitely not consensual because there's a bunch of people in the Eiffel Tower every day. But no, there's also like someone who's in love with the undercarriage of a Ferris wheel. A bunch of.
I can see it.
It's really it's interesting, and it's like I was just kind of like had the same like just shocked like. This is a thing, and then you get to the point where you just start to be like, these people have this actual erotic thing, and I kind of feel that way about someone who's like real into this tickling thing. I'm like, okay, it's not for me. It's not really hurting anyone if it's done, in this certain way.
Yeah.
And it's totally fine. And it must be hard when you have a really obscure thing. But thank God there's the internet for you.
Totally.
And same thing. The object sexuals thing came out of that too.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I'm just like I'm a real prude, but for some reason I love sex documentaries. It's just something about me that is true. But I think that I was
not lying.
initially seduced by Tickled because I was like, oh great, like just my classic genre of movie. But then it's but I knew that there was going to be a twist because I remember the Facebook ad campaign when that movie came out was like there were a lot of. You're sort of like you won't believe what happens, clickbait style.
See, I didn't know there was a
Ads.
twist. I didn't see any of those ads.
Yeah.
So you guys watched it together?
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
And so you had
Different
every
expectations.
Every twist that happened, you
I was
were
like,
like, whoa.
I know. The doc is great about that. I remember the first time I kept pausing it and going, come on.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I love that you have to pause to say "come on" because you
Yeah.
don't want to miss anything.
Yeah. I pause a lot
Yeah.
of things. I'm one of those kind of people.
That's cool.
I do a lot of pausing, and especially to like exclaim. Because I'm like, what?
If you're by yourself too, you just pause.
Well, sometimes I have to take a moment.
Yeah.
And just think about what just happened.
That's cool that you know yourself that well to do that.
I do. And I'm horrible to watch movies with because I will pause them.
Definitely sounds like it.
And then I'll talk to people about it. And
Do you not like seeing movies in theaters because you can't pause it?
I hate it. I can't. No.
You can only leave. That's the only control you have.
Yeah. I don't go to the theater very often. Because at this point, I only pretty much watch documentaries, and they're like on Netflix and Amazon and whatnot. But this is definitely a great documentary for that kind of stuff where you're like, come on.
Yeah. It
Like-
does seem like it can't get any deeper than it does.
Yeah. When they show up at the airport and then it's like good cop, bad cop, and then the weird kind of like, oh, I just happened to be here guy. Yeah.
The third
And
guy,
the one guy's like, that sign is so nice. Can we keep it? And I'm like,
Yeah.
these guys are good. And the guy's like, what the fuck's with the camera?
Yeah.
Take the fucking camera out of my
That's-
face.
That's our buddy Kevin Clark.
yeah, good old
Right
Kevin
away.
Clark.
See, the thing is, like, what I don't understand about this movie is that obviously, D'Amato has a singular kind of sociopathic desire to ruin people's lives and possibly a sexual thing. But what is the deal with everybody else that he's involved with?
yeah.
Like,
Great
how
question.
did Kevin Clark get into
Is it just money? Because
Is
they're
he
being
just getting paid?
they're getting paid so much, right?
I also
he's
feel-
he's throwing all of his money at everything.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, even when it's revealed that he's got like $6 million, I'm like, you can run out of $6 million if you're doing this like every
Yeah.
month. You could run out of $6 million. I don't know if he's really planning that far ahead. Like, yeah, and that's one of the things that came up when they were investigating. They were like, oh, well, this other guy in Florida charges money for this. It's unclear what the business plan is with Jane O'Brien Media.
Yeah, there's no exchange of money, right? Or do the videos?
just
The
to
videos must cost something to watch, subscription.
I don't know if that's how Jane O'Brien works. It didn't seem like that was part of it, or it didn't seem like you could make the money back.
No, it didn't seem
The
like
amount
that
of
at all.
money that they
Yeah.
spent
Yeah.
flying people internationally,
Right.
putting them up in hotels, giving them $1,500,
Yeah.
and like all the other things, like the gifts that were coming to the other people
Yeah.
in the beginning, like all the other
Cars and cash.
video games,
Video games.
Well,
So
video games is mine.
It's so demented.
it's
it is
games
so
are expensive.
wild.
and that's before he gets arrested.
Why
the
not
first time.
hire attractive young straight and or gay men and have them sign releases and then do like take the porn conceit and just put out videos like that. I don't understand the whole underground, like hiding
The cells?
the cells, the tickle cells, which sounds amazing on paper.
Yeah.
But
I feel like they must be making money.
They
There's
have
got to
to
be
be.
some way
I
that they're
don't think
making
they are.
money.
I don't think they are.
Japanese businessmen, something.
Ooh, Japanese businessmen.
Japanese businessmen.
I feel like there's
Businessmen.
also enough people that he doesn't need to fly people in internationally. I mean, you could just
Yeah.
in LA, just a guy with a 6-pack that you can get to do something for. 1,500 is a lot. You
could
can
go
do it
out
for 800.
This episode should be about how to make it more economical.
Yeah, let's just figure out the.
Yeah, hire locally.
D'Amato, check out Fiverr.com.
Yeah, let's figure out how to TaskRabbit this or something.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's a bad businessman and a bad guy.
Yeah.
But Richard Ivey
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
has it figured out.
Yeah.
That's our boy in Florida,
Yes,
right?
yes, that they
Yeah.
go to him, and there's some footage on the Tickled website of Farrier being tickled,
Oh,
and
really?
also Dylan being tickled, and
Oh,
the crew.
oh.
They just sit in that chair, that
Oh, the shackle chair?
the shackle chair.
Shackle
yeah.
chair.
Yeah.
That's hard to say fast.
Shackle check.
Shackle chair. I noticed in the credits that Richard Ivey's one of the producers.
Okay.
Maybe they
Interesting.
gave him a piece.
Yeah,
Sometimes
they
you
might
do
have
that
gi-
when you don't have a lot of budget.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a good promo for Richard Ivey, honestly.
Yeah.
It is very good promo for him.
When he
Yeah,
comes
anyone
off
that
looking-
watched that movie thinking that it was going to be a sex thing for their specific desire and then
Yeah.
discovered that it's a dark documentary, at least the silver lining is that they learned about Richard Ivey.
Right. It's
Yeah.
kind of like they're like the Chipotle. He's like the Chipotle to the McDonald's or
Right.
something like that.
Well,
Sure.
and
He's
then
like
the,
a little bit
the
better
ABC
ethically.
News, there's a 2020 or ABC
There's
News
a Nightline thing.
Or
And
Nightline
there-
thing.
Well, yeah, I think there was a 2020 thing. I remember seeing the 2020 thing at a bar before I'd seen this movie, and it was also on mute. So I was just trying to pick things
Oh.
up from that. But yeah.
Were captions on? Closed captions?
I don't think the captions were on.
Oh,
I was
that's
just
too
like, I'm like, I know what this is about because I'm aware that this is the thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for myself, so I'm not going to try and find out too much more.
That's my favorite film genre is like on TV at an airport with closed captions that are like a little wrong and also delayed.
Yeah.
Great experience.
One thing that I found interesting about this documentary is D'Amato's roots in early, he's been doing it for so long.
Right, he's an early computer guy. That's
He's like an
your-
early internet guy.
That's
He's
one of
like-
his interests.
He seems like a genius in a weird way. I mean,
Yeah.
must be to hack into shit and
He's evolved with the medium in a really fascinating way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when the internet was just text, he was there doing the worst he could do with words, And then as soon as there were other aspects, as soon as there was a social media, that he rose and found ways to make people's lives hell using social media. It's it's kind of like that thing of how all technologies are pushed forward by porn,
Right.
porn
Yeah.
innovated in pay-per-view television
Right.
and
Streaming video.
streaming
Yeah.
video and photography
VHS.
and
Like,
television.
Oculus Rift.
It's that. It's he's using his aggressiveness as a leading edge to innovate in different technological fields.
That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point.
Thanks.
Maybe a lot of people,
That's
a lot of Thomas Edison probably had some weird fetish we don't know about.
oh, I'm sure. The man electrocuted an elephant. That
is a
must
very
be a fetish of some
interesting
sort.
fetish, yeah.
Oh boy.
So so we get introduced to TJ.
Yes.
And
First day he was willing
poor
to
old TJ, he decides he wants YouTube to take down their video, and then unholy hell is unleashed against him with letters and emails and more
website.
videos.
Yeah.
When they were showing all the different sites with his video on it, I was like, that is my worst nightmare.
It is.
Yeah, like
They're revealing your actual name,
yes,
which I know.
everything.
PayPal you.
Just everything about anything not having any kind of control over the explosion of information coming back at you.
Doxing, essentially,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's doxing. Totally.
That is a nightmarish kind of. And then when you're young and trying to get a job, did they say where he lived?
He lived in some part of America that probably wouldn't be receptive to
Right.
homoerotic
Yeah.
tickling videos. I think.
Yes, exactly. Like our boy in Muskegon, Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Who is also
Is
unfortunately
it Jordan Shkaleki?
Shalaki.
Shalaki.
Yeah, Jordan Shalaki.
Did you see the video that he has done subsequent to this movie coming out?
No.
No.
So Kevin Clark created a pro Jane O'Brien, anti-Tickled website where he blogs about a lot of things. And one of the things he does the first thing he posts is basically Jordan, the guy who was running the cells in Muskegon, that he was paid by David Farrier, so therefore he can't his testimony. What? his interview.
Sure, yeah, like they call it a testimony in reality TV.
Yeah.
So I think it's not sacred.
His interview he does with the claim that Kevin Clark makes is that Jordan Schlacke is basically will just say whatever anyone pays him to say, and then maybe like 2 months later. Kevin Clark, you can find this. We can put a link to it. He puts up a video of him saying, like, well, Jordan agreed to be flown to New York on my dime to renege everything he said in the movie. So then he basically just like undermined the credibility of Jordan by saying that he was just paid to do whatever Farrier wanted him to say.
And then he
he's
paid
like,
him.
okay, and then what did you... Then tell me everything that you lied about. Like, oh yeah, I lied about all of that. Sorry. And you're going to pay me after this, right? I'm going to need that in cash. So it's pretty much like undermining... I mean, his part of that documentary is pretty like damning, though.
Yeah.
Because it's just breaking down like how... Firstly, like, is that Wisconsin or is it Michigan?
Michigan.
It's Michigan.
Yeah,
so,
Muskegon, yeah.
like, yeah, we're always very well aware in the news of like how badly the economy is going in Michigan. So it's a thing where at some point, if you see a 24-year-old dude rolling around with a bunch of cash, he might be in a tickle video.
Yeah.
Sort of like if you go to Humboldt and you see like a guy with a dog on a rope and he's like, oh, I just bought cigars, like it's the same kind of situation.
I like how he said in the doc too. He's like, it's not just Michigan, or it's not just Muskegon and Los Angeles. This goes on everywhere else. And I was
Manitowoc County.
yeah. I like.
Oh my God, follow the money. Somehow just HBO is paying for all of it.
Yeah.
I want to know how extensive it is. And if so, like, how does he have time to organize it all? It's like we have like 3 projects going, and I feel like I spend 90% of my life like sending and responding to emails. And so I don't understand how someone can be like the master Svengali of a global network of tickle video cells and have just the time.
Number 1, it's all he does. Number 2, incredible typist. So fast. He's so fast.
Fast and aggressive, yeah.
And then have the time to try to dismantle people's lives, like to send
And
threatening
to like
letters
keep up on it. You think he has reminders like count like tyrannize TJ today?
He does. He has alerts.
He's like using productivity apps.
Yeah.
He seems like the kind of guy that's probably had the same secretary for 40 years that probably reminds him, like, before you leave.
Did you send a harassing email?
Yeah. And she's just like so kept and like tragic in her own way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or he just doesn't sleep, and that's why he looks like the way he does.
There was other athletes. There was MMA guys. There was a bodybuilder. And then there was a couple actors, normal actors. I've seen some of them on commercials, TV commercials. Normal guys, like completely normal people.
Fuck off my feet!
Let us jump to Dave Starr, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
The casting agent.
Wow.
He's also weirdly responded to, or he liked your tweet that we were doing this interview.
What?
Did you
Really?
see that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, the guy who has the letters in the trunk.
Yeah. David Starr and also Tickled the movie retweeted. Yeah.
And
Nice.
someone who's real into foot fetish also liked your comment on Twitter.
Awesome.
They're like, hi, I'm 5'5", and I'm really into tickling your feet.
Yes.
Well, welcome to the show.
welcome. Yeah, welcome.
Thanks for
Please
listening.
to the show.
But the Dave Starr segment, for me, that's like, there was something about that really hit me, because it's like, I guess it was just like, from one, it's like the letters that he shows on the trunk of his car to David Farrier, and then the amount of just the weirdness that it gets into. It's not even threatening anymore. It gets into this weird, dark realm. And we find out that his brother had passed away, and then they sent a birthday card.
It's so messed up.
Happy birthday to your dead brother, or something. It's like, what is going on?
To his mom. Sent
To his mom.
Yeah.
Like, I bet you wish the other brother lived. Shit like that. It's so
God.
dark.
Yeah.
There's something extra tragic about that character because he's culpable too in some way. Like he was involved long enough, and probably longer than he should have, and he knows that he was involved longer than he should have, and so he's like. It almost seems like he feels like he's sort of like paying back a little bit by participating in the documentary.
Yeah.
He's just like wants to.
Hollywood producer, the radio segment too. It's like Hollywood producer looking for for athletes to come to Hollywood to do a tickling thing. It's like, oh no, town. What does this town run on?
I've seen a lot of weird casting calls.
Yes.
We get a lot of weird casting calls, but I have not seen anything. Sometimes when it's like partial nudity, I'm like, okay, well that's probably not going to be for me. But he is like, because he helped set up like the system, right? Didn't he help set up the system of auditions?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Well,
And
he
had women tickling them in some of the auditions in the beginning. I do wonder, like, is D'Amato was just sitting there, just like it's like straight up like his Tinder, like he's just like, this one's good. This one's good, not this one. Like,
swiping right and left.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, burn that tape.
Just eating Cheetos and sitting in his underwear,
Yeah.
looking at audition tapes of tickling.
I wonder what happened to
Slamming
him
5-hour
in his-
energy after 5-hour energy. What?
Do you think that he had like something happen to him as a kid, like a tickle-related thing?
D'Amato?
Because fetishes always come from some kind of formative
Yes.
experience you have at an impressionable age.
I
Do you
would-
think like he had a bad uncle
Yes.
that tickled him a little too much?
Uncle, dad, sister, mom. I mean, his stepmom was like, "Oh, that guy."
Yeah.
You know, when they get to that part.
Oh,
We don't know
he's
how
up to
old
it
she
again?
was. We don't know how old he was when she came in his life either. I mean, he might have already been in college or something.
No, I'm not saying she did. So, but
No, not that
No, but
she did
she's
anything,
just
but
like-
really, how close was she to him? It seemed like,
he's suing her.
now,
also suing.
yeah, which-
Really?
$21 million.
right,
Wow.
because of what she said in the doc,
Yeah.
Right.
as libel. I think he's using
Yes, he is.
He's
Right.
claiming libel on all of it,
Yeah.
which also like he might listen to this podcast.
But if you listen to
scaring
what
me.
say
she's
anything untrue, yeah.
Welcome to the show. Glad you're here.
I did call him a sociopath. Sir, I'm sorry. You're great.
Look, there's a test for that. We'll figure it out.
don't be pushed around by him. But if you listen to what she says, none of it's libel. I mean,
don't-
it's all like a lot of it's just her guessing. And then she's
Yeah.
like, I think he might be gay, and he never had a girlfriend. He seemed asexual, And then when you see him, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think worms are asexual, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Do you think? Well, I'm not gonna.
Easy, George.
Easy
Don't
worms.
get a suit again.
No.
Is he
not
wearing
again.
a turtleneck when we first see him?
I hope so. God, I hope he is.
He's not. The camera is not very close to him.
No.
Like to the point where I really, until just today, thought
That
he was
shit's.
the same guy.
Do you guys get scared when you see like investigative journalists walk up to
Yes.
people with cameras and stuff?
I
My
had
palm
to do
starts
that
sweating,
once
yeah.
for a thing, and it was
Oh,
the
yeah.
scariest thing I've ever done in my
You
life.
had to do
Really?
it to someone.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
actually, that's
Was it
that's
gotcha
public. You
journalism?
should talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
This is a
sure.
short doc.
I shot this doc with Vice that was all about these like really interesting and strange transhumanists in Florida that started a church, transhumanist church, but like it was kind of maybe also secretly like a vitamin racket.
Yeah.
There was like there was
Why is there always a secret racket to everything?
it's
The
like
Church of
Did
Perpetual
this air?
Life.
Did this air? Somewhere?
on
Yeah,
the on the
awesome.
internet, on
But then
Viceland.
on Viceland, too,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's this thing where like the guy, sort of like the deacon of the church, also owns this sort of buyers club vitamin company. And like, are they related, and where does the money go?
Okay, like
so
a pyramid
I had to
thing,
do a
yeah.
gotcha thing where I like went to their headquarters and knocked on the door and like tried to get in to ask them
Whoa.
questions, and it was so scary. And they did have that kind of like leading aggressiveness about it.
Yeah.
They were just like, we've called the police. Like,
Yeah.
you have to leave.
Yeah.
That's
And
on
I was
camera. You
like,
can hear it on
I'm
camera.
just-
Yelling
I'm
at you.
just a guy. I don't even actually really care. Like I just
Yeah.
have to come knock on this
Yeah,
door, and then
yeah.
I'm happy to leave you alone. It was very scary, and I always get scared when I see it in movies. I
Me-
think it's so brave.
Yeah.
Anyone that can do that, and even like in documentaries where you sort of see like they're supposed to turn the camera off, but they keep rolling,
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
can't they see the light?
There's a
They're gonna
lot
get
of that
trouble.
in here.
Yeah, there is a lot. The coffee
that
cup.
part reminded me of the Jinx in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. They're like when I'm just putting the camera on the ground. It's off now. Wink, wink. When they first go, when they're in the van, well, it looks like a really smart. These guys seem really smart. I get the feeling Farrier's done this before.
It's like PI work in a way.
they seem to
yeah,
have
some of it.
like he seems to know what to do.
Yeah.
And his little buddy Dylan Reeve, like I'm like, you guys probably have done this before.
I mean, he is like a TV news,
Yeah.
news journalist.
He's a
guy.
little-
He's
he's-
at least he's been in the game.
TV
Yeah.
news?
It's like a massive like 7 on Your Side project, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a consumer
Yeah,
like.
he's like New Zealand TV, right?
Yeah, he's kind of like like he was like, but it seemed like all like very light, like I'm going to interview Guar, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
kind of light entertainment, and this became a hard news
Interview
story,
Guar.
like
Right.
right away.
I think part of also the motivation of a guy like that is the opportunity to tell like a real story as
Yeah.
a journalist. I think that's
Right.
probably quite tempting.
Yeah,
when you're
for
used
sure.
to doing like wacky puff pieces.
But they had that van just like fitted out. Like they knew what. I mean, I was like, damn,
Yeah,
girl,
totally.
like you guys know what to do with the curtains and the. I would have fucked all of that up.
Yeah,
they
for
would have
sure.
seen me just pulling into the parking lot.
Yeah.
like I could not pull that off. But when they get out to walk up. Oh man, I'm like, oh man, what's gonna happen?
It's also just like a moment where you can't blow it, you know? Like,
You can't.
It's very intense as a performance because he has to go
Yeah.
up there and just like ask the exact right question
Right.
and get
Yeah.
the answer out of him.
What did you guys think of the music in this documentary?
I don't remember the music.
Yeah.
It's weird. I ended up looking up the guy who did the music. And
Really?
he's the guy who made Upstream Color.
Oh,
What? Like the director of
That's-
Upstream
yeah,
Color?
yeah. He's I guess makes music. If
What's
it's
the first movie before Upstream Color?
Primer.
Primer. Primer? Is that what you call it?
I'm just joshing.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy, I guess.
Primer's great.
What's that guy's name?
I'm blanking. I looked it up because I was like, I looked up the IMDb.
Man, I could not get through Upstream Color. Am I right?
I could not get through it either.
Oof.
No.
I want to try again.
Tuffy. Loved Primer, though.
Loved Primer.
Although didn't understand
You know
it.
who is a fan of the music in this?
Whom? Oh.
David D'Amato?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, in the New Art premiere, David
so
D'Amato gets on
hilarious.
mic. It's so strange. He's like,
Why did he
has
feel
this
like he
big
had to do
preamble? Big preamble. Just like I don't know.
Is this the thing you guys showed me when I got
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. He's like telling them to lawyer up.
Yeah, the 5 minutes of going into that whole thing to essentially just say lawyer up.
Yeah.
And then
This is what we say in New York, lawyer up. And then I do have to say, very creative effects, good music.
some of those
He
shots.
does not
Those
say
shots-
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
he does. They're like
He
I thought-
compliments the guy.
Qualifies it with a
He
compliment.
likes
yeah.
the aesthetics of it. He's like
He's like, there could have been more tickling, for, according to my taste.
I disagree with the facts, but he's like Lenny Riefenstahl was pretty good. It was kind of like
why
that
did he?
attitude.
Why?
So
Why
good.
did he feel like he had
Why
to
did
do
he
that?
go to the premiere too?
Yeah.
There was
Like,
a lot of
all
whys.
that.
A
was
lot
the
of
premieres in L.A.
Yeah.
and he flew. Wasn't
He must have,
Kevin?
right?
Oh,
Clark
he
there,
left
too?
the apartment for once.
They
Right.
were both there. They both
They were
went out
both
for
in
it.
that, and there's
That's
a confrontation. Yeah, so they get
So
up
when
in
was
the
the
Q&A.
premiere announced? Let's figure out how much that ticket costs.
Yeah.
All right.
That was like June
It was in
or
June,
July
so-
of 2016.
They probably announced it like couple weeks before, so we're looking at 2 weeks before a flight. That's like a $700 flight to LA.
Yeah.
I'm down to $5 million
Yeah.
and $999.
So this is on YouTube or something.
It's
This-
on,
was on
the, it's on the
Facebook
Tickled
page.
Movie Facebook page.
Oh.
But I think it probably is also
Oh,
on
that's
YouTube.
smart.
And I imagine that it will be in the 20-minute compendium.
Yeah, it'll probably
right.
be in Tickle King.
Let's
Yeah,
talk about
Tickle
Tickle
King.
King.
Yeah, well,
Do you know what anything of what's going to be in there?
I know it's 20 minutes, and by the time this airs, I think it will be up on HBO. So
Right.
it'll probably just chronicle everything that has happened with the lawsuits.
Too excited.
Subsequent.
That is something that I hope
subsequent
that
to
more
this.
documentaries do because
Yeah.
I feel like every
Follow
time
up?
I watch a documentary,
Right.
I'm like
You're
quick to
like-
Wikipedia to see what happened
You
after
guys remember
the
Unsolved-
reception of the documentary, and that is
Yeah.
not going to be a thing, like a companion piece.
Totally. Remember Unsolved Mysteries when it would be like update?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Go into, like,
Dum
where
dum
yeah.
update. He was
So
found.
satisfying.
Well, Making a Murderer 2 is coming out.
There you go.
So,
Right, yeah, they're
this
gonna get
year.
into that.
in this
About just
fall.
like more about what happened.
Everything that's happened since and the release of.
I think it's so interesting
Brendan,
for
yeah.
documentaries
Brendan's
to
out?
actually like be forthright about their position in the story, and especially like now that we just have given up on the criminal justice system entirely and just depend on
yeah.
documentaries to tell the true story or
Basically,
podcasts.
yeah.
It's like absolve us, like
Yeah.
NPR.
That's exactly. I have a joke about that. Exactly.
Really?
About how we've like outsourced all of our mysteries to
Yeah.
the private sector.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's like I hope like you just go to jail for something you didn't do, and you just have to hope that at some point
Yeah,
like an
please,
enterprising
HBO.
documentary filmmaker
Right.
comes
Yeah.
along.
I hope my thing at least has some ratings so I can get out of here.
Yeah.
I
Like,
hope
if
my
it's,
crime is interesting
Yeah,
enough.
exactly.
Oh God! So now people start doing weirder crimes just so they can get exonerated through media. Is that what's going to happen?
Maybe, but yeah, I mean, I think that that's like it's cool for a documentary to take responsibility for that
Well, this
by
is- yeah.
including a follow up that's like this is what we did, like
Yeah.
this is what the impact of our storytelling
Well, they're
was on
the-
the actual story.
They made themselves the heroes. They
Yeah.
made themselves like the advocate. This is a very like Woodward and Bernstein kind of like, but just unmasking, not like a system. It's not like the system is indicted. It's like one weird kingpin
Yeah.
is indicted.
yeah, it
which
goes
is
all the
very
way to
strange.
just this guy.
Yeah.
You follow the money. It's just here. There's nothing
Follow the
beyond
money. They said follow the money. Oh, we found it. It was
There it
on
is.
a hard drive that was available to the public. That's the other. as
That's
a tech
amazing.
person,
Right.
Like it's just like I just doxed myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he basically did.
So at the end, you find out that he made his records public.
Right, he
yeah,
had like
it's-
a folder that's very conveniently labeled.
Yeah.
Do you think he
Private
did it
documents.
on purpose? Like on some
Yeah.
element, like him going to the premiere and saying he liked the music, like. it almost seems like he enjoys the attention.
Yeah.
And
That's
he
an
likes
interesting
This the
idea.
end game.
he likes having like
This
a
is the-
cause, a reason for litigiousness and anger, and like a reason for being. And like
Yeah.
maybe that's the documentary has given him like the ultimate manifestation of
Right.
that.
He's just like a plain old narcissist.
Yeah,
That loves-
regular old. Maybe he should just run for president. Am I right?
Yeah.
Woo! That's a real corker.
We're looking for a
A
vice
New York,
president.
a New York wealthy son. Yeah, that sounds right.
That does sound about right.
I
It's
mean,
funny because that's what the Jinx Bar Durst is also too. Like those are the
reals-
problem
yeah,
people.
Yeah,
The rich sons of New York magnates.
yeah.
It's like the people that are their parents pulled themselves by their own bootstraps and
Yeah.
they're just dangling off some
shoelace.
and neglect boots. Yeah, they're all
neglected
neglected.
boots.
All those children. Durst was neglected. This got David DeMaio's neglected. Trump definitely neglected.
Oh, for sure.
Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
just need sick power.
Now, is Trump listening to this?
Oh,
Hello,
yeah.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Also,
service.
I like attention too. Just to remind you, I was neglected. I like attention. Go to our Patreon page right now.
You guys have a Patreon page?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
It's a good
Oh,
time
yeah.
to plug our Patreon
Yeah,
page.
yeah. Go,
Nice.
You can get
What's
a
that URL?
1-inch
Can we get
button. It's
Patreon.com/SUP.podcast.
You
Cool.
can get Paco's album. You can get a California Bart button that I made.
Yeah.
Nice.
Woo. Where did you guys start? Where did
As a
Yacht
band?
start? Yeah.
In Portland, Oregon. It
I've
started
heard of
out as
Portland.
just Jona, who's in the bathroom, but Jona, he's the one who went to the bathroom.
Oh no, I don't remember.
It started out as just Jona, laptop project in 2000 and something,
Yeah.
and then I joined in 2008.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of when Yacht hit the map. I'm not gonna lie.
And
I'm back.
It's when you joined. He has something to say about that. When you joined Yacht,
Yes,
is when
well,
things
that's kind
really.
of where we burst onto the
If
scene.
you want to talk about hitting the map, 2007 was
That was
literally
key.
the year that we hit the map, where I played by myself over 200 shows in the
Whoa.
span of 365 days.
200 shows.
We're talking North America.
Wow.
We're talking
Australia?
China. We're talking Australia.
China?
China.
Whoa.
Mainland China. We're talking
true.
about Hong Kong.
Have you done Taiwan?
No.
but we've been to Taiwan.
Yeah.
Just on a little.
Never done Taiwan. Always wanted to.
What's your
Ben?
favorite city to play in? What venue?
Oh boy.
That's all hard.
That
You
is
know,
really
what I
hard.
like to say is any place I've never played.
Got it.
You know,
Yeah.
my favorite restaurant is any place I haven't been to.
Uh-huh.
My
Favorite doc I've never seen.
I
favorite
like the
singers
new.
couldn't
I love
sing.
the new. And sometimes I feel like when you're touring and maybe playing like Middle America or weird parts of the world that feel like they're not so glamorous, and you kind of go in there dragging your feet, it always ends up being great because
Yeah.
people are so much more enthusiastic
Right,
They're so
and
stoked,
excited,
yeah.
and you make a real impression on people's lives. Like
you-
every one of the super fans we have are people that saw us in like crazy parts of the country that don't get a lot of
weird
bands.
college in Ohio or something.
Do you guys play theaters, or do you play mostly?
Oh, you name it.
Bars?
Really. I mean, we've
Literally
done
every kind of-
we've done it all.
yeah.
Theaters, galleries. You know,
Bedrooms, toilets.
Yeah. Oh, you played in a toilet?
Yeah.
You played
I
near
literally
you
have.
played near a
in
toilet.
St.
once.
Louis.
This is before me.
Yeah, I remember that some kid asked you to play their birthday party, and then you just
That's
came
when I
up.
first met you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You came. They flew you to Oakland
Yeah.
to just
I
play
started
at their
this
party.
band literally to travel.
Whoa.
So yeah,
It's worked out.
Kids, it was MySpace, and
Yeah.
yeah, these kids asked me.
MySpace era.
It was Menlo Park.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
So
it was
from
so awkward.
from Portland, they flew you from Portland,
Yeah.
to Menlo Park to play
Yeah.
in a bathroom. For a
'Cause-
kid?
well, no, that was different. That wasn't about
Different bathroom.
Actually, but
situation.
very similar circumstances. It was
Yeah.
MySpace, and it was two girls in St. Louis that flew me out. Or no, they didn't fly me out because I was already in Chicago playing like a festival. They paid for my train ticket from Chicago to St. Louis.
Whoa.
Picked me up, and then there was like
private party.
It was like a weird private party in a kid's grandmother's like basement den.
Oh, whoa.
And it was so awkward, and it was like mostly these really pretentious avant-garde performances, which you
Oh,
wouldn't
no.
think are going to happen in this kid's den.
Yeah.
There was like a
I
kid.
wonder where
like,
that kid is now.
He's yeah
In his 30s
and so
or
like to try to escape the awkwardness of it, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna set up in the bathroom." So
Oh, wow.
I had this like giant bass amp that they lent to me, and then a laptop that I plugged into that, and I sat right next to the toilet
That's
with my
awesome.
back to the door.
Was it the only bathroom, so nobody could
Yeah.
go in there?
Yeah.
That's great.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
It
Yeah,
was
that's
pretty fun.
important.
Were you Yacht then?
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it. And you were just a solo project.
Yeah.
He was just one
Interesting.
weird man with a
Yeah.
laptop. And then I came along.
Yeah.
You kind of abused that laptop.
Yeah.
It got a lot of
multiple
abuse.
laptops,
Yeah,
I guess.
Went through a lot of
Who writes your videos? Do you guys write your
like a
music
treatment.
videos?
You make a
Or-
treatment.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we work with directors, but we usually have an idea going in.
They're
Yeah,
all-
we
they're all
usually
very-
have
pretty
very,
clear ideas
very
going in,
Detailed
LBH.
ideas, yeah.
They're all very creative.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Yeah.
I went through a Yacht wormhole last night on
that's
YouTube.
fun.
Yeah,
Cool.
I watched a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What did you like? What did you like best?
I don't remember any names of anything, but like I just like some of the 80s look, computery look stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You
I know
guys
what
get
you're
the
talking
Eurythmics a lot?
about. All the time.
Yeah.
People
She gets
always
Annie
tell
Lennox
us
a lot.
we sound like the Eurythmics, and every time I'm like, no, I have short hair.
Right,
Like, that's
right.
the only.
Oh yeah, I guess the Annie Lennox thing I could see it, but just
Yeah.
that like the '80s bouncy bass thing, like which is I mean it's great. Whoever writes the bass lines is really
Hey,
great.
that's me.
You're
We
really
do it all,
great.
babe. We
Thanks.
do it all. We're like, where we come from. DIY.
It's got
Come from
a
punk.
clashy kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, no, it's and I on the drive up, it was all I had is like the earth is on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, it's crazy. We have a couple of songs that have this sort of nihilist, celebratory / nihilistic streak to them. And in the few shows that we've played, we played one show right before the inauguration and one show on inauguration night. And like our entire canon like feels different now because of the world that we live in. Like we have a
Oh,
song
right.
called "I Thought the Future Would Be Cooler."
Yeah.
We have a song about like letting the world burn because we don't care about our daughters. Like,
Yeah.
and it was like
Yeah.
feels so weird to sing them now.
Did you have songs about how CNN is fake news? Is that something?
Is that what that song's about? Not having a daughter?
Well, that's a
That song is kind of like I mean it's a
Deepwater Horizon.
We wrote that song after Deepwater Horizon,
Oh,
which
wow.
was the oil, which was like seems so long ago now that was like the worst
2010?
environmental
Yep.
thing we
Yeah.
could conceive of.
Yeah. And it was on camera all day long on
It was
CNN.
awful.
Yeah.
Remember just like watching that thing like
Yeah.
spew
Spewing
toxins
oil.
into the
Yeah.
ocean. It was
Yeah.
just so stressful.
That's such a catchy fucking song.
Thanks.
It's so good.
Thank
and this
you.
entire car ride, and I was like, dun, 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 dun. And is it the only song in the world that has the word jackal in it?
Ooh, great
Are
question.
there any other jackal songs?
There's gotta be. I feel like there's like
Like Jackal
like a
bands. I don't know.
Midnight Oil song that has Jackal in it. You know?
The jackal came into the house.
See?
He fought
Sounds
the
right, doesn't it?
dingo for the baby.
Sounds
Oh,
right.
George.
If you any chance to do my my Midnight Oil impression, it's ready.
You
Awesome.
just had it. You just had it ready.
It's locked
That
and
is
loaded,
awesome.
baby. Been locked since the 80s.
You've been ready to throw that out.
If you were to make a like a Lifetime movie version of Tickled, who would we cast in all the roles?
Oh, that's good.
Because that could happen. I feel like
Yeah.
that's
Giamatti
it-
as D'Amato.
Oh, Giamatti as D'Amato.
Giamatti D'Amato. That is perfect.
Paul
I think it's
Giamatti. That's hard to say. Paul Giamatti as David D'Amato.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Val Kilmer should be in it.
Oh, Val, I love
You
Val.
know, like I feel like
Yeah.
he should be in it. Who's gonna play David Farrier? Like what? Jude Law?
I guess Louis Theroux.
Yeah.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
or the other Flight of the Conchords guy. What I'm
Yeah,
saying.
or
Right.
the other fucking
Not
yeah.
Jermaine.
The cute one.
Yeah.
No, Jermaine.
I wanna-
Jermaine is who you're talking about, right?
No, I'm talking
Not-
about the other one.
Not
Yeah.
about not Brit.
Brit. Yeah, Brit.
That's
Brit.
who you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking
Yeah,
about
Brit.
Brit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put glasses on Brit.
Put
Yeah.
glasses on that guy. He can get away with it.
All right.
Yeah, Jermaine could be Dylan.
Or I feel like Stevie from Eastbound and Down.
Oh, he's so great.
belongs
Stephen
in-
Little.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Stephen Little. Maybe he's D'Amato,
Or
would be
he's
great.
or he's Kevin Clark.
yeah.
Or I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, one or the other. Yeah.
Yeah, give him a white wig.
Yeah. That
He's great.
Actually, Lewis Black. Lewis Black as
Oh, shit. Yes.
As that's who would play Kevin Clark.
Right.
Can we just get the guy from Making a Murderer to play?
Stephen Avery?
Yeah, they're kind of the same physical type.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Or
an
like
interest-
Steve Bannon would play really well.
What would you call it? It can't
His
be called
skin is
Tick-
better than Steve Bannon's skin. I will say that.
Yeah.
Like David D'Amato has a better skin regimen.
Does Lifetime still make these kind of movies, or they just
They're
make stuff like
a Britney
Unreal?
movie. They've
Yes.
got that Britney movie
Oh,
that's
wow.
coming
Yeah,
out.
if they're doing a Britney
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched Unreal on Lifetime?
Oh yeah, actually. Oh yeah, you were friends with
Great
Sarah
show.
as well. Yeah. Who started that show? Yeah.
I've never-
It's a show about a show.
Show, it's
Whoa.
about The Bachelor.
It's a behind.
It's a drama
the
about The
scenes-
Bachelor, but about like the production of the show.
Yeah.
Which is
Whoa.
great
It's
because
pretty great.
I'm sure
Scripted,
as documentary
unscripted.
lovers, you see like reality television and you're just like, please, I want to know what the producer's life is
Yeah.
like. Like
Yeah.
I don't
Know the
care.
real
like
story.
Naked and Afraid,
Yeah.
one of my favorite TV shows. Like I just want to know about like the base camp tent that's like 6 feet away,
Yeah.
where like the camera guys are eating like granola bars and talking
Right.
shit.
I feel like
want to see that.
Yeah, I feel like this would be a good thing to do on our Patreon page. Is just have content about reality TV because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not exactly
I don't watch
documentary. We
any,
haven't
though.
done. Yeah, I don't watch much, but or we could talk about like Unreal or something like that.
I
That would
like
be
the
good
idea
for
of a
the content.
serious doc guys watching reality TV and sharing their insights.
Well, yeah, we're very serious people.
Yes, yes, obviously. Matter of fact, I've made only a few mistakes, according to my notes.
Oh, you took notes?
I actually have notes.
Yeah, it's good to take notes for like. There's so many characters to remember the names of them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I went into this not remembering the names of any single character in the movies.
Yeah,
Still
you
don't-
say who that guy is.
D'Amato,
Yeah,
Tomato.
Reeve, Farrier, Clark.
Well, you got it.
Wow.
It's like one of
TJ.
those T-shirts with like the
Yeah.
D'Amato's just like put some spec
D'Amato
on my
and-
name, basically. Like keep your name out your mouth.
Well, guys, I think we've come to our end. I hate to say it. I know.
We had some laughs,
We did have some laughs.
involuntary and voluntary laughs.
We cried.
We did.
We saw.
That's why I went to the bathroom to cry, not to eat.
Yes, you did.
Thanks for getting
Yes.
tickled with us, Yacht.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
us.
Thanks.
You can find episodes of SUP Doc on iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn. Please subscribe, review, and rate.
For show notes and more information about George and Paco's appearances, visit supdocpodcast.com. You can send your corrections, questions, or comments to supdocpodcast@gmail.com.
We'd also like to thank Documentary News for their continued support. Please check out documentarynews.com.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook @supdocpodcast.
This show is produced by Will Scoville, and our theme music by David Siegel.